Chaos Rising prices are literally all over the place, and right now there seems to be some pretty big price drops, though the big question is, will they start recovering? As I'm about to walk you through in this video, it is very true that Chaos Rising prices are just dropping, but that's usually pretty standard. When a new set releases, prices do tend to drop. But what's crazy is that price drops have happened for previous sets, like for example, Ascended Heroes, but they have bounced back with a vengeance. I mean, when we actually look at Ascended Heroes, the early price drops were really brutal, but now they've spiked to new heights. So I'm kind of wondering, will Chaos Rising and the drops that are happening right now, is this just a little bit of a calm before the storm? Check this out. So before we get into the singles, I do want to cover the Chaos Rising booster box, which has had a bit of a weird journey, okay? So in the last month, right here, we can see it was selling for 270 US, dropped down to 242. Right now it's selling for 250, okay? Pretty standard price for a booster box, a little bit more expensive than what Perfect Order was, but of course more people like Chaos Rising. Chaos Rising does have really cool special illustration rares. And obviously the Cinccino, the Mega Greninja, the Dragalge, I really like him. I even love Azs Tranquility. I actually really rate the SIRs in Chaos Rising. It doesn't have much. Like, you're not looking like an Ascended Heroes where, whoa, you got Feraligatr, Metagross, Dragonite, Gengar, wow, you don't even, you're spoiled for choice with Ascended Heroes. Chaos Rising doesn't feel like that. It's a smaller kind of vibe. Either you've got just a few special illustration rares, but at least they're all quality, which does matter in the long term. Though interestingly, I just want to touch on the pull rates. So I've got some data here around the pull rates. The pull rates for any illustration rare in Chaos Rising is around 1 in 9 packs, and for a specific card is 1 in 99, which is pretty standard across the board. It's not crazy pull rates, they're pretty fair. And then when we look at the special illustration rares, the pull rates for SIRs are 1 in 90 packs, and for a specific SIR, it is 1 in 540 packs. So the pull rates are nothing too crazy, very similar to Stellar Crown from Scarlet and Violet. And then of course you've got the Mega Hyper Rare, which is around 1 in 1,100 packs. Now of course, these pull rates do look very similar and very standard to a lot of sets we've had. I wouldn't say these are insanely difficult pull rates, but they're not as easy as something like Phantasmal Flames or Pokemon 151. They're decent. So that may also be a bit of a point where maybe some of the prices won't exactly just fly crazily. Like when you look in Ascended Heroes, I mean, to pull a specific special illustration rare, it's pretty crazy. By the way, if you do love to stay up to date with Pokemon prices and recent trends, my name's Phil and I create content around Pokemon cards and collectibles. Definitely feel free to subscribe so you're always in the loop what's happening in the Pokemon world. So moving on to the first illustration rare I do want to talk about is the Froakie. And we can see right here, just last month, it was selling for around $55, that pre-release price point. As everyone knows, prices do tend to drop, and right now Froakie is selling for $22, which honestly, for starter evolution lines, 22 bucks, it's not too bad. The connecting artworks are probably, I'd say they're probably the best connecting artwork we've seen. The Froakie, Frogadier, and the Greninja. I think they're phenomenal. It looks so good. And I think that's a big reason. I do think that a lot of people who are gonna wanna collect the Greninja, people are gonna wanna get this in a connecting artwork. Though moving on to the big one, which is the Mega Greninja Special Illustration Rare. Now, when we're looking here, that pre-release price point was around 600 USD, which, okay, and you know, the thing is right now, and this is crazy to say, I'm looking at $600, like for a pre-release, that's crazy expensive, but then you don't know where cards are gonna go in this era, man. You just don't know. Are they just gonna go to is this Greninja? Like, people were wondering, was it gonna become a $1,200 card, like the Pikachu, like the Gengar? What's gonna happen here? Is it gonna be like the Charizard? And thankfully, it is dropping in price. Can you believe it? Right now, it is selling for $404. Now, that is still insanely expensive. The fact that I am celebrating a $400 Pokemon card, I'm a banana. Oh, there's no other way to say it, but at least it's dropped down a little bit. And this is the big question I think everyone has right now. Is this $400, is it gonna drop further, or is this gonna be a low point? Because when I was looking at the Pikachu from Ascended Heroes, and I know I keep referencing Ascended Heroes, because that set has bewildered me. I just have no idea how prices have gone that outrageous. But regardless, the Pikachu was sitting at around that 450, 480 range, and that was like, oh, it dropped to that point, and then it just ballooned up in price. Is this a calm before the storm? Or maybe prices are going to continue to drop. The thing I can see about Chaos Rising, and this is just anecdotal, but I personally find the set easier to find than a lot of previous sets. Both Chaos Rising and Perfect Order have literally been the sets that have been a bit easier to find in stores. Whether or not that's because it doesn't have that big chase cards in it, I'm not sure at this point, but right now it's a really volatile time for this hobby and no one knows. The only prediction I have for this card is because we're going into the US and Europe summer period, and that is usually when prices start dropping. So maybe there might be a better opportunity to buy the card. Again, I don't know too well though, because the market is ridiculous. Moving on to the Mega Hyper Rare, which was selling pre-release-ish for 400, which is, I actually thought it would have been more. That was nice to see. I guess not many people with the Mega Hyper Rares, like I've mentioned a lot. Yes, they look good, but they are a little bit overhyped for my liking. It's right now selling for 323. Nothing crazy of a drop, but these Mega Hyper Rares, they're just ridiculously difficult to pull. But like I said, I had mentioned it in a previous video. I personally would have loved if the Mega Hyper Rares actually took some inspiration from Black Bolt White Flare, where we had that monochromatic style. Like if this Greninja was in like a blue coating or the Charizard was in an orange coating, that would have been cool. That I actually think would have been more interesting for these. The whole gold monochromatic plate, yeah, I mean, been there, done that. It just looks like a regular Hyper Rare to me. Moving on to the Mega Dragalge Special Illustration Rare, one of my favorite cards from Chaos Rising, probably my favorite. And thankfully, the price is actually pretty good. Right now, selling for 72 bucks. And if we look there, we're selling for 177 pre-release. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty sharp decline. I'm not surprised that it's selling for $72. Yes, Dragalge is cool, and Mega Dragalge is even cooler, but I mean, like, it's a bit of a niche-ish Pokemon. It's nothing like your mainstream Greninja, mainstream Metagross, those kind of Pokemon. Dragalge has a fan base for the more dedicated fans, and I think the artwork really complements the Mega design as well. But in terms of that, $72, if this started spiking out of nowhere, it would just be weird to see because, like I said, it doesn't have that natural fan demand. So yeah, I mean, right now, I think $72 is a pretty good price for this card. Could even go lower. Now, the thing is, Chaos Rising has a massive connection with Pokemon Legends EA, and honestly, it's also connected with the whole Mega Evolution era that we've seen. You can really see those influences expressing themselves through the artwork and the overall design direction, and honestly, understanding Pokemon games and their history does make you much smarter and sharper when investing in collectibles, because what happens is you actually start noticing certain themes, mechanics, and nostalgia cycles and how they all draw from the video games. And that's actually a big reason why I created my other channel called Philip's Trick Room. Here I dive deep into Pokemon gaming history and Nintendo retrospectives. On one of those videos on the channel, I actually transfer a Pokemon from the GameCube all the way to the Nintendo Switch 2. So if you do enjoy the gaming side of Pokemon as much as the collecting side, definitely feel free to check out Philip's Trick Room. I'd love your support there. Moving on to the Cinccino Special Illustration Rare, I have noticed that we're getting these EX cards and there's been a bit of a pattern. We've had the Meowth SIR, which is really cool actually. We've got this Cinccino, we got the Morpeko in Pitch Black coming out. We do have a little bit of a pattern going on right now. Not sure if anyone's noticed that. But right now, looking at the Cinccino, selling for 90 bucks. I think that's good, man. I honestly think to get these special illustration rares, they're at least, from what I can see with Chaos Rising, a lot of these are a little bit more in that obtainable category. When I look at Ascended Heroes and I look at some of the prices, to me, it's just unobtainable. It's like, okay, am I gonna fork out $1,400 for the Gengar? And am I gonna now pay $1,200 for the Pikachu as well? When I'm looking at this, $90, yes, it's expensive, but of course, it's a rare card. Though, given the fact that Chaos Rising is a little bit more abundant and a little bit easier to get, and it surprised a lot of people, maybe we will see a bit of a drop. Don't forget, Stellar Crown, a lot of the special illustration rares in that set were very hyped, and like the Terapagos and all that, and then they dropped a lot. So there probably is a little bit more room for these to drop. And moving on to the Mega Floette. Anyway, right now selling for $60. Probably the weakest SIR, I think, in Chaos Rising. Though a really cool one is Azs Tranquility, was selling for that $125 pre-release. Right now selling for 46 bucks. Honestly, I think this is such a cool artwork. Like really cool card. Of course, won't have that massive fan demand, but again, if you did play the game, it's a really cool representation of AZ. So yeah, I mean, look, for that, in terms of $46, I am happy to see that Chaos Rising definitely seems within more reach. Like, to be honest, if you did want to do a master set of this set, it's looking a bit more attainable. Same with Perfect Order. It's like, yeah, I mean, master set's always going to be expensive, but they've always been like, yeah, like if you wanted a master set, it was a big goal, but you could achieve it. Chaos Rising looks like in that position. I do have to admit though, I'm just looking at the illustration rares of Chaos Rising. Man, they're pretty sick. Like, you've got the Chespin, you got the Ampharos. Right here, you have the Xerneas, the Claydol, Crobat. It actually has really cool illustration rares. Probably, it's one of those rare sets that has better illustration rares than SIRs. One of the Xerneas here, we can see, was selling for around $30. Right now selling for, there we go, $18. But regardless, I am actually thinking that Chaos Rising is looking in a bit of a better position. I do think that prices may continue to drop for this set, especially as we're going into that European US summer period. And honestly, the Mega Greninja isn't a big fan favorite. It is loved by a certain amount of collectors, but I think it's a bit more of a polarizing artwork. Some people don't like it at all. Some people don't like the design of Mega Greninja as well, the whole upside down thing. People don't like it. And that's gonna actually always have an effect on the market. When we're looking at Mega Charizard or Mega Gengar, those are established Mega Evolution Pokemon. People love them. I mean, the Mega Greninja, I wouldn't be surprised to see it continue to drop. Right now, knowing which booster box to purchase is very important. And honestly, a lot of the community agrees that booster boxes are some of the best purchases due to their historical performance. Though I suppose that does beg the question, what is the best Pokemon booster box to buy right now? Well, I reveal the answer in the video on screen here. Within this video on screen, I go over what are the best booster boxes to buy in the current market. If you love this video, you're really gonna love the video appearing on screen. Really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and hey, I'll see you on the next video.